Hey, it's Jay. Welcome back. Oh, guess I'm changing. I still got them all. Oh, shit. Hey, it's Jay. Welcome back to my channel. So that first clip, I filmed it like way back at the beginning of quarantine. And you're probably like, what about all those videos in like April, May, and June? I tried to pre-record those because it was about to get really busy in school and again like lavender living and stuff. But yes, I am taking a break from having colored hair. I kind of grew out my hair. I did also like cut it so it was longer, but then I cut it again because it's Florida and it's hot. I grew out the bangs, and I just have my natural color now, which is dirty blonde. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera because it's like you can really tell in the sunlight and stuff, but yes, this is my natural color. I'm still a natural blonde when I don't have fancy colors, so I'm gonna stick with this for a bit. So this is the Regeneration Book Tag created by my friend Mason over at the GD 256, and his channel and original video will be down in the description, and I love the thumbnail he made. That's great. So this has 13 different questions, one for each doctor excluding the War Doctor. So let's get into it. The first one is The First Doctor, a book from the 60s or before that you consider a classic. This one was really easy, and that's 1984 by George Orwell. It was written in 1949, and this is one of my favorite classics. I think we all know what this is about. Big Brother, it's dystopian. I don't think I need to talk too much about this because even if we've never read it, we all kind of like know about it and stuff. So yeah. I also didn't really know a lot of other books that were reported like the 1960s or not. The second question is Second Doctor, a sequel that you think is better than the first book. And I chose Gregor and the Code of Claw by Suzanne Collins. Yes, Hunger Games Suzanne Collins. This is her middle grade series. This is the fifth and final book in the Overland series. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, this is probably my favorite book in this series because there's a lot of like codes and a lot of like espionage stuff, and it's really freaking cool, and like my spy nerdiness comes out in this. And yes, I definitely recommend this series if you like middle grade, and if you like fantasy, and if you enjoyed the Hunger Games, you will really enjoy this series. The third question, A Third Doctor, a cool political thriller. I don't think I've ever read a thriller, and I was going to choose the Hunger Games, but I just used a book by Suzanne Collins, and so I figured I'd use a different book, and it's a YA contemporary that's political called Dear Rachel Maddow by Adrian Kistner. This is told completely in the form of emails to from this lesbian girl who really looks up to the MSNBC talk show host Rachel Maddow from The Rachel Maddow Show, and it deals with politics. She's running for office in her high school because she is like a remedial math student or something, and she feels like her and her friends are underrepresented, which yeah, and so she tries to run for office to beat her ex-girlfriend and this other douchebag. Fourth Doctor, a series that went on a bit too long. I only read like 6 of them, and I couldn't tell you what each one was about, like what was different than, but Pretty Little Liars, by the author whose name is escaping me right now, went on for so long, like way too long. I feel like there was a spin-off and they just blurred together, and it's like, I don't care about the drama of these girls. Like, I did watch the whole show, like, I'll admit that, and I had read enough of it where I could like tell that there were differences and stuff, but good lord, this is a long series. Fifth book, a book with way too many characters. I adore this series, but there are so many characters, like specifically so many bad guys, that it gets really confusing after a while. And that is Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landy. This is about these people that can use magic and stuff. There's elementals, which use the elements, and then the other kind of magic, it's more like specific dark magic. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but the main characters are this girl. She ages like a year each book. This is like old middle grader YA, probably more YA. She starts out as 12 and then she gets older each book. And the skeleton detective, and they kind of like solve magical crimes together, and it's so good. It takes place in Ireland, and the audiobooks are amazing. Sixth Doctor, a book you think is a lot better than people give it credit for. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this one. I know a few have, but I haven't like seen anything like amazing about it, and that is The Brightsiders by Jane Wilde. I've mentioned this book before. It has like a whole bunch of diverse characters. The main character is bisexual. There's a genderqueer love interest with social anxiety. Talks about like addiction, alcoholism, and then like there's two other books by Jane Wilde that kind of like are mentioned in this book, like the characters and stuff, and so that's really cool. But I love this book. It made me laugh. I love the story, and I just don't think enough people have read it. Seventh Doctor, a book or series that should have gone on longer than it did. I'm choosing Women Are Some Kind of Magic by Amanda Lovelace. This is a poetry trilogy, I guess is what you would call it. It has like references to different fairy tales and such. And there are like other poetry collections by her, like Break Your Glass Slippers, and a couple others I haven't gotten the chance to get or read yet. But I really like the feminist fairy tale retellings by her, and I wish there had been more. I'm having flashbacks to the movie. It's Eighth Doctor, a book that needs to be experienced by more people. I'm choosing A Quiet Kind of Thunder by Sarah Bernard. This is a beautiful romance. I'm not usually one for romance novels, but this is YA contemporary. It takes place in Britain. There's this mute girl and this deaf boy, and they kind of like do a mix of sign language and like writing down what they're thinking. And it's just really pure. There's so many cute scenes, and I just love it. I need to reread it, and it's probably one of my favorite YA contemporaries, and I've not really seen any other people who've read it, but it's so good. Ninth Doctor, a book or series for the perfect character arc. I'm choosing If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. Listen, this mouse just wanted to get a cookie and milk and be comfortable and live his best life, and honestly, good for him. I love cookies and I love milk and I love being comfy, and that was the perfect character arc, and it's honestly goals, and I know I'm not crying right now. 10th Doctor, name a book that ended up super divisive. The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare is one of my least favorite things I've ever touched and read before. I know it's a lot of people's favorite books because there's a lot of like diverse characters, I think, but there's too many problems with it, and I don't like the writing, and it's just not good at all to me. Like, I don't like the characters. The only character I like is Magnus, the warlock, and I feel like you either hate this series or you love this series. There's like very little in between, and it's very divisive. 11th Doctor, a novel with a quirky character. I choose Rick Riordan books too often. Oh my god, I forgot this book was this dense. Whew. A novel with a quirky character that I'm choosing is Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, or basically the whole Heroes of Olympus and then Trials of Apollo series. This follows Greek and Roman demigods. A lot of you probably know about it, especially since I've talked about it on my channel a lot before. But Leo is this, I think he's Mexican, he's Latino, and he's Texan, and he's very silly and stuff to cover up his pain. And he's just, I love him, and he's just wholesome. He is my little child, and I will protect him. Penultimate question, 12th Doctor, a series where each book feels completely different. I don't remember hardly anything about these books, but I do remember being kind of caught off guard by how different they felt, and that is the Maze Runner series by James Dashner. There's a lot of issues with the author and all, like, what was it, pedophile or something? I don't remember exactly, but there's like some issue thing where he's cancelled. But this series, the main trilogy, and specifically, each book felt so different. I don't know how to like explain what I'm thinking because I read that in like 9th or 10th grade. And I'm a senior in college now. And I just remember like being like, is this the same world? Like, it's the same characters, but what is happening? So yeah. And the 13th and final question is the 13th Doctor, a book that has a diverse cast. And for that, I'm choosing Every Day by David Levithan. this is a queer novel, YA contemporary that has like a magic realism aspect. I'm choosing this book because the main character, I think, goes by A, if I remember correctly. And each day, this anomaly, I guess, it wakes up in a different person's body, and there are like people of color, there are trans people, there are people who have mental illnesses. I don't know what that was. Anyway, and it's just like a lot of different people, and there's a movie adaptation of it that was in like 2017 or something. And I wasn't sure how they were going to do the adaptation because of the nature of the book, but they did it pretty well, and I love seeing the diversity on screen as well as in the words on the book. So that's all I've got for today. I'm going to go ahead and tag Adrian and Ashley Faith, and I will put their channels down in the description, so make sure to follow them and subscribe to them, as well as Mason. I don't know of a lot of Doctor Who fans that are on BookTube. I know they like Doctor Who, at least the new show. I feel like Adrian likes the classic as well. You'll have to correct me. So yeah, that's all I've got for today. New hair, same face. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to get notified every time I upload. I upload weekly. And tell me down in the comments if you like Doctor Who and what your favorite Doctor is. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.